Justin and Seth, I think you guys are absolutely hilarious. Elizabeth, I think you're one of the prettiest people in the world, and I really hope you return to Scrubs next season. My question is, and I can't forget, because if I forget, I'm going to go home and cry. Jason, I love you. But my question is for my idol, Kevin, how do you find inspiration to do things that aren't Jay and Silent Bob related?
I do a lot of things that aren't Jay and Silent Bob related. I breathe, I eat, I get laid.
Well, that's Jay related.
You got my number, sister. I had to make those movies. That chick wouldn't have given me a second look and shit. She walked past me the first time. I was like, I made Clerks. She's like, no, she's not really a fan. Life doesn't really like the movies I make. She's like, why don't you make movies like Wes Anderson? And then she said, why don't you fuck like Wes Anderson? It's easy. I mean, I just kind of ran out of shit for Jay and Silent Bob to do, and so I just kind of moved on to the other thing. It wasn't, it wasn't like by virtue of the fact that I had nothing else to do, I just kept making Jay and Silent Bob movies. I just liked Jason. I thought it was funny. I was like, let's make another one, and they can be in this, and this is interconnected. It's one long kind of dirty soap opera. But I think I kind of, after Clerks 2, I felt like this is a logical conclusion to it all, and now let's just go tell other stories.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you, Kevin, for signing my stuff at the Stash on Wednesday. And also,
you got a Zombies jersey on.
Yeah.
I like that.
How did you get that? I didn't even get one of those fucking things.
You buy them on the website.
I just buy one on the website.
Do it up, Hollywood. Anyway.
But my question was actually, since you've worked with Seth, are there any Apatow regulars, like in particular, that you'd want to work with in the future?
Say no.
What's the point? I've had the best.
Exactly. Thank you. Next question.
Hey, guys, Kevin. Kevin, I just want to ask you and the cast as well. Kevin, your biggest strength in writing is dialogue and whatnot, whereas like in the cast, it's been a lot of Apatow productions. It's a lot of ad-libbing and improv and whatnot. How did you reconcile the two? And just so Scott doesn't feel lonely anymore, like how does it feel to write your signature on all those checks with gigantic numbers on it? That's all.
I start.
Yeah.
It's a lot like being an actor. Each check differently. Is it catering or something else? I try to get into character.
I think Mojo's so funny. That's why I like doing this podcast. It just makes me laugh. I'm sorry. So, what was it like?
I was saying, your big strength is the writing and the dialogue,
yes.
whereas everybody else has been from stuff that.
My only strength is writing dialogue, to be honest with you. It was fine. I mean, I'm known. For some reason, I have this fierce reputation for like nobody deviates from the script whatsoever. I haven't really been like that since Chasing Amy. I think Chasing Amy was the last time I did it because on Dogma we had Alan Rickman, and I was never going to be like, dude, I'll teach you how to act. We had Chris Rock, and I couldn't be like, dude, you don't know from funny. Once I started working with other cats who were kind of at the height of excellence in their field, I loosened up a great deal. The movie we did after that was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, had Will Ferrell and Chris Rock back. So I bow to anybody who's funnier than me, and Rogan is definitely funnier than me. And Rogan is a very gifted ad-libber, but anybody can be funny on a set, like say things that crack up the crew and shit like that. But what's the true talent is to be able to ad-lib and make it all usable. Like even though you're throwing stuff into the scene or into the script, as long as it's germane to the discussion, it's all usable. Like you can't take this weird 5-minute flight of fancy that derails the plot. And Rogan and Banks and almost everybody here was very, very gifted at being able to ad-lib but make it all useful. It all felt like it was coming out of the characters' mouths. So there was a bunch of that in the movie, and some of the funniest stuff, some of my favorite stuff in the movie is stuff that I didn't even write. Hi.
It's like, oh, I love you, but I'm not going to do that. So...
This guy's the handsomest guy at Comic-Con. Look at this guy. You better get laid here, man. This is...
So I was listening to this podcast about a month or so ago, and you guys were talking about the whole third coming of Jesus, Holy Christ, exclamation point. And you were talking about how you spend so much money and make it like really good so no one gets offended. It was kind of like, why? Fuck that. Make a Dogma 2. We want like a 100 feet tall Mose box in Christ with devil wings. That was sick.
We had, for those of you who are like, what? We talked about on a Smodcast, like, I don't know how it got to it, but we were talking about making this feature where Mose was 100 foot. Basically, Jesus was coming back as the second coming into the world, and we were trying to stop it, and somehow Moj, the United Nations, pulled him aside and said, we got to infuse you with the power of Satan to battle Jesus. But the trick was, like, Jesus knew judo, but Satan didn't. All he knew was old-timey boxing. So I had to follow him around in a truck playing old Scott Joplin music. I don't think that's a feature, but it was certainly fun to talk about.
Hi. Everyone else here, I've only seen your movies like once, Kevin, so sorry.
What do you mean? Have you seen all of them once? Or
Yeah, I've seen all of them once. They're all good. I like them.
That's
Okay.
fine. You don't have to watch them again.
I like them, okay. But I'm a real big Elizabeth Banks fan, and I had a question. Thanks. I know you're working with Oliver Stone on W, and I wanted to know like what your thoughts are portraying Laura Bush, and what your thoughts are on our current president, and anyone else can feel free to answer what they think about it.
I don't know that I'm going to go on. I don't want to get audited for the rest of my life, so I'm probably not going to go on record with my thoughts on the current president.
You better shut
Playing Laura Bush was rad. It was really cool, and Oliver, like Kevin, is a great sort of American filmmaker he's a visionary, and he's made a really cool movie I think you guys are gonna love. Laura Bush, it's just like playing a porn star, really. No, it's just the hair is different.
She wouldn't even have to change her name.
First off, my mother's not here, so ladies, I know your work. My question's for the entire family. Have you ever reached a point where you said, I'm done, this is enough? And if so, why don't you change your mind?
I'm close right now.
Done with what?
Just in general. Have you ever decided to stop doing anything? I'm still eating a sandwich I started 6 years ago. It's going to stop. All of us firmly believe in continuous activities of our times. We're against the stopping of things or the continuing of things.
I think you got to be a little more specific.
Yeah.
Stopping what? Stopping.
Stop the movie business, decided to get out of acting or directing, writing, go on to, for lack of a better word, a civilian job.
We don't know how to do anything else.
I've had many people lobby for me to stop. But it never occurred to me until I started reading that shit. Then I was like, oh, maybe I should stop. Then I look at my bills, I'm like, I gotta keep going.
Is that a passive way of saying we should stop?
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys thought of stopping this? Really? Just saying.
I had my first sex scene in this, so I'm just started. Babies.
It looks really cool. I just want to say that I remember Bitch Tits from last year, that dude that made an ass of himself. And I just want to say that was funny. If you're here tonight, I'm going to pile drive you after the show. But anyway, no, this is about the movie. Do you think this new like genre of film, like the porno comedy, like Kevin Smith mainstream director movie, you think it's going to be like more? There's going to be more of them because of this is going to be like the bridge that builds the new genre of like porn comedy, comic fanboy movies.
I think it'll be like a section of Blockbuster. Porn comedy. Foreign favorites. Porn comedies.
Mind the sticky floor.
Yeah.
What? Remember we got all sitting there. More jokes here. No sex jokes.
I don't know that it'll necessarily create a genre. I mean, I don't even know if the movie will fucking open. I don't think it'll create a subgenre of porn comedy. But if it did, I'm gonna remember this moment and be like, that motherfucker in the pink cap called it. Like Babe Ruth, he was like, there will be porn comedy.
But do your thing. I love you.
Thank you, sir. Is that it? All right, they're making us wrap it up. Thank you so much for coming. Go see the movie on Disney.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it again for our guest, Mr. Kevin Smith and the cast of Zack and Miri Make a Porno.